I think I just came across one of the most insane FPS mechanics, and it legitimately makes you unkillable. Okay, that worked out a little bit. Even with my 4,800 hours in Kovacs, what I'm going to be talking about, you can put in 10, 20, 30k hours and maybe not even have a clue if you're doing it correct. So let me know what you think. An incredibly cool subject, and I'm going to have to spend some more time looking into this because you actually just don't have to take damage. Fundamentals of Strafe. It's by Sam. Contents: purpose, the artful dodger, intentions and goals, strafe aim, global bias, geometry, control, practice, simplification and calmness, appendix. Purpose: a punch is a punch. A punch is more than a punch. A punch is just a punch. By Bruce Lee. The goal of this document is to provide the necessary groundwork to allow for easy self-learning of strafing. By showing you a glimpse of the middle step and providing you with the technical references necessary to study it, and to explain the practice necessary to take yourself through the middle step so that theory becomes intuitive and easy. As such, the guide is loosely divided in two parts. The first one with the purpose of showing you various surface level ideas in order to inspire your own thoughts and will to research further. And the second to discuss the various means of practice and mental approaches to integrate those ideas into your intuition. I believe that good strafing is very achievable for anyone with decent brain, provided with the proper inspiration, practice, and effort. The Aimer 7 guides are highly recommended pre-reading and entirely necessary post-reading if you're serious about improving. More about this in the appendix. 2. The Artful Dodger. The Artful Dodger is a lazy old man. The Artful Dodger is a man of principle who is not afraid to go his own direction. He has an intention with every key press, every movement or lack thereof has a purpose in mind. The Artful Dodger is calm and confident in his convictions and abilities to achieve his goals. The Artful Dodger sees the dance for what it is. The Artful Dodger puts himself in situations where he has to do little while his enemy must do a lot. His moves are not predetermined and does not follow strict rules that can be forced blindly. I'm reading here, we're studying. Do not interrupt again. The Artful Dodger is fluid and merging, always adapting to his surroundings at any point to recede or advance, but ultimately preferring to stay where he is if possible. The Artful Dodger, relying on concepts and theory, has more consistent damage input/output, damage taken/dealt, than someone relying only on his mouse control and AD spam. If you want an unfortunately accurate analogy, you can compare the Artful Dodger to the gameplay of a controller player. It's calm, consistent, and easy to execute despite nerves. Interesting. Chapter 3. Intentions and goals. An obvious requirement to strafing well is understanding what goal your strafe is meant to achieve. There are certain simple goals: maximizing damage dealt, minimizing damage taken, moving around the map, and more advanced ones: maintaining a good geometric position, dodging enemies to your side/above while maintaining proper goal to an enemy in front, or pushing at a certain timing to elicit a response from your enemy. Of course, it is rare that we have one and one goal only for any given situation. More often, you'll have a hierarchy of goals with varying ratios. Consider a 1v1 where you are behind an enemy in a good position. What is the best strafe? Is there a point in moving at all? Consider a 1v1. Yeah, no point. Shoot at the guy. What about Are you reading? We are reading a guide on strafing by a guy named Sam. Aimer 7 has written an excellent document on this topic, and if you're feeling rusty on your knowledge, go read at least pages 1 through 7. Strafe aim can loosely be explained as strafing tactics that maximize damage dealt above all else. The most simple form is the mirror, in which you match the direction your enemy is moving. Ask yourself when this would be useful. Two answers are when you have more HP or a higher DPS weapon. You don't mind trading hits in these cases, since your enemy will die before you do. Strafe aim is a very core fundamental which should be the first thing you practice and grow comfortable with. Kovacs is a useful tool for this. Okay. Probably talk about practice more in that chapter. This is why a good dodge is a dodge that tries to move globally in one direction, modulated by local change of directions for a relatively long time scale. This is also why AD spam is the poorest dodge you can do. There would exist a quick fix to get better dodge. It would be to have a global bias throughout the fight. 2. Over time, move towards one side more than the other. Think of it loosely as not finishing the fight on the same spot as you started it. Notice that if you do not use any biases, your enemy can easily under-aim at the middle of your strafes, hitting a lot with very little effort. By introducing bias, you remove this possibility from him, while forcing him to aim at a large angle. Be aware of the geometry that you and your enemy reside in. Notice the space where your enemy can be, and aim accordingly. For example, if your enemy is in a corridor, you never have to aim closer to the wall than one body width. That is true, I never thought of that, unless I'm I'm going for headshot. Notice how positioning in a certain way can limit the amount of space your enemy has on your screen. Notice how the distance to a corner affects who can see who, and affects who has control over continuing or canceling the fight. Okay, I will say Doki has a bit better writing skills. Chapter 7, Control. You probe with bayonets. If you find mush, you push. If you find still, you withdraw. Vladimir Lenin. Don't know what that means. Test your opponent to see if he's the real deal or just another noob. Push your enemy at a moment and angle which is hard for him to hit. And if he's not hitting, keep going. There are always advantages to be found. Even in seemingly neutral states, if you're close range and your opponent gives you an opportunity, legit circle him. Walk around him in 360 degrees. Don't give him so much respect and disrespect yourself. Don't give him so much respect. He's saying, like, take advantage of it. Don't give him so much respect and disrespect yourself so much as to AD, handshake, every given situation. Okay, yeah, I think he's just saying, just don't be stupid. Just like play correctly. What game does he play though? I don't know if I can do that in COD. If you always mirror your enemy, when it gets hard to aim, you'll be entirely controlled. Interesting. Yeah, we were mirroring a lot in Overwatch. Chapter 8, Practice. Here we go. What was this, I think this came out 2022. The goal of practice is to take new ideas and grow familiar with them, either through sheer experimentation or by taking concepts that you are more or less convinced of theoretically and developing a sense of how it feels when applied. Think of ideas on your own and try them extensively in intensive practice. Okay, he's saying your ideas, your theoretical convictions are easy to achieve, but getting them down super well is hard to achieve. Maybe it's just this text, this font. I like when it's bold. I think that's what it is, because these chapter headings are a lot easier to read. Another very underrated thing is to surround yourself with better players. Better players often take on the role as a coach to their friends and teammates. And even if they aren't great teachers, quotations, or have good understanding, simply 1v1ing them is good practice for you. YouTube. Whoa, wait. Did I find this before? Number 1. Why'd you disappear? Now, look at these 8 directional people. Look at this. Let's watch the kids play. Oh, this is so cute. 8 directions. How do they move like that? Look at them. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That was a horizontal. Not horizontal. That was a... That guy went diagonal. That's cute. I love watching this. Little 8 direction gameplay. Yo, go. Hey, power to them. If it's fun for them, hey, I can't judge. Just playing on the inferior input though, so. Simplification and calmness. Have the courage to actually play the game and stop being a panicking little baby. Trust your convictions and intuition. Many are too afraid to ever stop AD spamming, perma jumping, and even to delay their wingman shot by a few MS. Realize that the game is not that hard. Your target is not that small. He's not moving that fast. He's also not hitting that much. And he's not that good. Simplify the game and view it for what it actually is. Look at what is real rather than what your chicken brain tells you. Most people have a very warped sense of what their enemy can actually do. Look at how they aim if you don't believe me. Of course, calmness requires a certain level of confidence. Being an artful dodger can be scary since it doesn't feel like you're doing much when you do a longer strafe or keep your mouse still at the middle of your enemy strafe, even though they might be the best plays. Chapter 10, Appendix. I have to make a strong note here. This document is an inferior version of the Aimer 7 guides, filled with inaccuracies and dumbing downs, and without the holistic approach. The Aimer 7 guides, Strafe Aiming 101, heuristic about geometric positioning, and the dodge parts of his Zoro 7 Tracer's Guide are really, really good. I've recommended them to every client I've coached, and everyone tells me they'll read them. The issue is, for some reason, they never do. That's why I've reluctantly written this guide and why I haven't done it before. I'm not the best person for it, and it shouldn't even have had to be written. This document is written in a different style to Aimer 7's guide, hopefully better suited for ADHD brains of semi/pros. Okay, that is Sam's Fundamentals of Strafe. Pretty cool.